Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar hosts, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, Bogman, and the Welsh. The On Deck podcast is brought to you commercial-free by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
And welcome back to another episode of the On Deck podcast brought to you by LineStar and the LineStar app. Follow them on Twitter at LineStar app and LineStar MLB. Hope everybody had a good Monday. 11 games in the books on a Monday. We have 12 games. No, there's 2 rounds. 10 games. It was baseball at its finest. But we're going to have 10 games on Tuesday because of a doubleheader situation. But first, before that, find me on Twitter at BDentric. Co-host, the Chuckler over there on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Bogman, how we doing, man?
I'm good. You know, I just came back from a Diamondbacks game and they lost again. So it was, this is going to be the story of my Diamondbacks this year, where they start losing, they come back and make it interesting, and then still lose. So
at least you're not eating Carl's Jr. this year. So that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I would die. So luckily, we're not doing that bit anymore. So
and the bright side is you got to watch the A stack go off. So that was fun too.
That's true. Yeah, Madison Bumgarner was he was rough. So I mean, to say the least.
He's not much longer for this world, I think. It's just
I don't think so. Well. Better get his Mason Saunders on and start practicing for the rodeo, because if he wants to be an athlete, that's going to be where it is, I guess.
Yeah, so. He'll be ready to rock and roll that for sure. Other than that, the Angels went off late against Kansas City. Trout hit a bomb. Ohtani had a couple doubles. He was quite productive in his
highest exit velocity of the year too for Ohtani, over 119 on that double. So
yeah, he was smoking, as they would say. It's just his talent is ridiculous. It's just stay healthy. That's all I say. Just stay healthy. That's
please.
All I want. You had that. You had Peralta doing Peralta things. Glasnow was just ridiculous. So the chalk pitchers went off. Some of the chalkier bats went off, but the sneakier ones, the Tigers, they went off. Badu hit a 450-foot home run.
Yeah, that Zach Greinke didn't work out. My other pitchers did, and you had Glasnow.
And I wasn't picking on you with that. I just wanted to bring up the Badu part because that was a freaking moonshot.
Yeah, that guy is hot like that Hansel right now, and he's a lot of fun to watch. So hopefully he keeps it up. So I mean, he ain't going to be affordable very soon. So get him in your lineups while you can.
Yeah, so let's talk lineups. Since we have 10 games to get cracking on, we'll start breaking them down for you, get you the home run calls. Eventually, we're going to get one. We are. Like, it's getting annoying that the home runs aren't coming, but they still get like double-digit performances. So if you played them, they still productive for you. They're just not winning you merchandise. Just not winning you merchandise. I apologize. So it's like you can't please everybody. But we're going to do our best here, and we're going to kick things off with our first game of the night, the New York Yankees at the Toronto Dunedin Blue Jays. We have Hyun-Jin Ryu versus Jameson Taillon, total of not available at this point in time. They're still waiting on that one. But one thing you'll notice, people, lots of really good pitchers, some very mispriced ones we'll get to eventually. I'm being very picky on my pitchers on this slate, so I'm not interested in either one of these. Are you?
No, I'm not. And that's, you look at these guys specifically compared to what we had on the Monday lineup, and you go, how can you say no to either one of these guys? Specifically, Taillon is priced very nice, but he's priced so nice because we have some other big name starters going. So I am also not interested in any of the pitching here.
Yeah, and it's a very hitter friendly ballpark. You wouldn't have known that when Robbie Ray shut down the Yankees on Monday, but this ball does fly out of here. Any interest in picking on Ryu or Taillon, or is this kind of just a pass game in general?
No, I like a couple options here. I like Aaron Judge. He's 3 for 7 off of Ryu in his career with a bomb. Jay Bruce is 4 for 12 with 2 bombs off of him, and Gio Urshela 3 for 8. So there are some, and I think all 3 of his hits were doubles. So there are some decent options in this game here, and you can't go wrong with some of these hitters. I mean, this is still a game in Dunedin. I don't think they're all going to end 3-1 this week. So I think the ball is going to carry eventually, and it could be a decent day for it. So we'll see.
Yeah, Urshela 27 on FanDuel, 44 on DK. Jay Bruce 24 on FanDuel, 33 on DK. You can get some fun there. I'm actually liking the J side. If you're going anywhere in this game, I kind of like the J side of things. It's Taillon. We've seen him be up and down, and you can get some value in this. I think even Kevin Biggio's GPP viable at 43 on DK. When you look at the FanDuel side of things, he's only 28. So I like that quite a bit. And then if there's some nice values, depending on the lineup, we've seen Espinal, he's third base shortstop eligible on DK. Cracked the lineup, he's 33 on DK. And Rowdy Tellez is 28, waiting for him to do something. And Gurriel's down to 33 on DK.
33
so
also.
You can get some nice discounts over there, which will be helpful because there's some serious bats in some certain games we're definitely going to want to pay for in a bit. And some of them start right now. Texas at Tampa Bay. We have the wonderful, the only Kyle Gibson facing Ryan Yarbrough. The total is only 8, surprisingly. So it must be a team total of 7 for the Rays because Kyle Gibson's on the mound. No pitchers for me here, Bogman. What about you?
Yarbrough is not bad. 7,400, but specifically on FanDuel, where he's 6,200. He's cheaper than Gibson for whatever reason on FanDuel. So that could be a nice tourney GPP option there.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. But what I do know I want for sure is a lot of Tampa Bay bats. What bats interest you in this game?
I mean, can I just say that the bats interest me? But Rosarena's hot. Meadows is hot in 4,800. That's not a bad price for him. Brandon Lowe, like you said yesterday, 4,500. A lot of Tampa Bay bats here. Like you said, Margot is fairly cheap again. I just lost his price, but
he's 35 on DK, and I just had him on FanDuel. He's 28 on FanDuel.
Right, exactly. So there are definitely, a Tampa Bay stack is against Gibson is probably a smart move today.
Yeah, I'm all about it. It might be popular, but just give me a Rosarena and Meadows to start with. Build around that as you please. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm a big fan of this one. Let's go Miami at Atlanta. This one's a very, very tough one for me. I think you can get some GPP leverage in this one. Yeah, Pablo Lopez versus Max Fried. 2 very good pitchers that we love on other slates, but this slate's a little different. And Pablo's on the road. We prefer him at home. Max Fried got lit up his last time out. I'm not using the pitchers here, but I know you're kind of interested in a few. They look good, and I like both these guys. But I think I'm with you. I think, Bubba, I'm going to pass on these ones too. And it's hard to say that when the prices are nice. 6,900 for Pablo on DK. He is 74 on FanDuel and 65 for Fried on DK. And he is 76 on FanDuel. But I think I'm in that same boat with you, man. I'm going to pass on this one. Yeah, and the total's only 8 in this game, but most of the totals in this slate are 7 to 8. Surprisingly, there's like 1-9. But I think this is one of those spots that Tampa Bay is obvious. There's gonna be a couple other obvious go-tos on a very big slate. I think you can make arguments for both sides of this. I think the Atlanta side is Pablo Lopez on the road. We know lefties can hit Pablo, righties can too, obviously, but lefties what you want to target. Acuna is just white hot right now.
Yeah,
he's had double-digit fantasy points, I believe, in 6 of 7, 20 or more points in 5 of 7. Like, if there's anybody that deserves to be over 6K on DK and over 4K on FanDuel, it's Ronald Acuna Jr. You can put Freeman and Albies with them. It's expensive, but as we will continue to talk about, there's pitching in other plays to be cheaper. I think that is a 3-man stack that'll be completely low-owned on this slate. At least I think so. So I'm kind of intrigued by that one. Anything excites you in this game?
I'm absolutely with you on those bats, specifically Ronald Acuna. I mean, you can just pay up for him, and it doesn't matter. If you need a catcher, obviously you do on DK. Travis d'Arnaud, 3 for 7 in his career with 2 bombs off of Lopez, so he kind of owns him as far as that goes. His price on DK is expensive, 4,500, but I like him today. I think that's probably my best one. Brian Anderson, 4 for 10 off of Fried with a bomb. So that's a decent one as well. His price is going to be 3,600 on DK and for 2,400 on FanDuel. So I think he's a decent option as well.
Yeah, and the one other thing I'll mention, the Marlins are very affordable on both sides. So if you are looking for savings, you can go there. Garrett Cooper, 3 for 5 on Monday night. He's starting to swing the bat well. He's 25 on FanDuel. And he's only 2,800 on DK. So he's very, very cheap. If you're looking for a discount there, Adam Duvall went deep off a lefty. Shocker. So you can keep him in mind. He's cheap on both sides. And still, Starling Marte is only 2,800 on FanDuel. I'm just going to mention that every episode until they figure that one out. That is just bonkers to me. They're $2,800. But let's head to Milwaukee, Chicago at Milwaukee. There's no total on this game. I'm not exactly sure why. but it's Kyle Hendricks versus Brandon Woodruff. We saw this matchup in Wrigley last week, Bogman. We were all in on Brandon Woodruff, and he absolutely dealt. I don't expect him to have a no-hitter into the 7th. I don't expect that again. But for $7,500 on DK and for only 88 on FanDuel, I am all aboard another option playing Brandon Woodruff.
Why is he cheaper than Hendricks? That baffles me.
No idea.
But I like both pitching sides of this game, but if I'm going to pick one, once again, it's going to be Woodruff because the Cubs just have not completely broken out as far as the bats go. So Bryant hit a homer, Monday, so that's good, but they're still not there yet. So I'm going to roll out Woodruff once again in a ton of lineups, and I'm probably going to stay away from this game overall as far as hitting goes.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with the bats. The only way the Cubs scored was off the bullpen late, which is great, but you can't really predict that much. I think both starters put some good work in here. Peralta was amazing on Monday, so I expect Woodruff to put together another quality start. Very viable on both sides for me, so I'm all aboard that train. Next up, we got Washington at St. Louis. Another interesting one here. The total is only 7.5 in this game. You got Strasbourg versus Flaherty. Two pitchers. Like Strasbourg is 84 on DK. Flaherty's 81. But on FanDuel, Strasburg's 10-4, where Flaherty's 82. Quite the discount on DraftKings. I don't want to put either guy. I actually think this is another area to be kind of sneaky with some bats if you want. But what stands out to you in this game?
Yeah, nothing really. Like you said, I don't want to pay for the pitching in this game. And the pitching is good, so I don't really necessarily want to pay for the hitting either. So I think I'm just kind of skipping over this game in its entirety. I don't really want to mess with it because I'm not going to pay up for Strasburg. I'm just not. And Flaherty is a little too inconsistent right now for me to want to put him in my lineup with the other good options on the board today. So it's going to be a no for me, dog, on this whole game.
Yep, I don't hate it. The one thing I will like is Soto, and you could pair him up with Josh Bell, who's back. He's only $3K tonight on DK, and he's uber cheap on FanDuel as well. So if you want just a little two-man stack, because I do think Flaherty's kind of broken right now, I think that's an angle you go to, but it's one of those where I don't think he's broken enough to go all in. So just give me like two of the good guys, and when you can get one for 3K and one for 5K, so they're equal to 4K each, I kind of find that to be a bargain. So I'm intrigued there. All right, Cleveland at the Chicago White Sox. This is one I just want to tune in and watch as a fan. I want to put my feet up on the on the couch and watch Shane Bieber lose to Lucas Giolito, and the over/under is only 7 in this game. That might be about 6 runs too many. But Giolito 98 on DK, Bieber 10-7 on DK. On FanDuel, Bieber is 11-2, Giolito's 98. I am always a gigantic Giolito fan, and the fact you can get that much of a savings, especially on FanDuel, is quite intriguing to me, Bogman.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And I think that most people are going to treat this game the way that I just treated St. Louis and Washington. So I actually do kind of like some bats in this game.
Nice. Enlighten me.
I'm going to be on the White Sox side in this by taking Giolito. So, look, there's a couple really good hitters, and, Jose Abreu, 7 for 20 in his career off of Bieber with 3 bombs. That's amazing. Yoan Moncada, 6 for 19 with 2 homers and a double in his career off of Bieber in particular. So those are going to be my favorite plays. They are expensive, of course. Jose Abreu, 5,500 on DK, and he is 3,600 on FanDuel. And then Yoan Moncada now is 4,500 on DK, and then he is 2,800 on FanDuel because people are going to be avoiding these guys. So I think I'm going to pay up for at least one of those guys in my lineup today.
Yeah, see, that's a nice little two-man stack, kind of like my Nats idea. I don't mind that at all. Fading one of the big guys. Don't have to go all in because it's one of those, you don't expect people to get lit up like a Christmas tree, but if he gives up like one bad little rally, be a part of it, it's a game changer type thing. So I'm all about that. Detroit at Houston. Here's another one of those potentially obvious situations on hand. We have Jake Odorizzi. It is Joke Odorizzi. Jake Odorizzi versus Matt Boyd. That was a Freudian slip. That wasn't even a bad dad joke, Bogman. That was just straight Freudian slip. And this is the highest total on the slate. Total of 9. I know it seems too easy, so this is probably a bad idea. It's probably going to be a pitcher's duel, but I want bats on both sides, Bogman. What interests you here?
All the bats. I'm absolutely with you on this one. I mean, you can pay up for Bregman at 5,000, Jordan Alvarez, nice at 4,700. Carlos Correa has been white hot, 4,700 for him. I'm paying up. Kyle Tucker is a decent deal for 4,100. I'm just giving you the DK prices here. So yeah, man, I'm with you. Nomar Mazara could be a decent one in this game. 3 for 11 in his career off of Ottavizzi with 2 doubles. So that could be a decent one. And he is just, still bare bones cheap, 2,200 on DK, and on FanDuel, he is 2,200 as well. So nice, just a super, super cheap option, especially if you do want to pay up for a pitcher today. He could be a decent one.
Especially he's met in 4th or 5th. So if you're stacking up, he's right there in the middle of your stack. Makes a lot of sense when you're doing that. A couple other names I mentioned Badu earlier. He's 38 on DK. He's only 28 on FanDuel. I'm going to keep riding that bat. Like, he is just hitting everything with authority. Grossman's 3K on FanDuel. He's 31 on DK, so you got savings there. Candelario, 26 on FanDuel, 32 on DK. So lots of savings with Detroit. But on the flip side, the usual suspects, like you mentioned, and also if you're using a catcher on DK, Ramos is on fire right now for a catcher. 34 on DK, 33 for FanDuel. But on the Astros side of things, Correa went deep again, like you said. He is just ridiculously hot. You have the other usual suspects. But one guy I want to just nail home to people, don't forget Michael Brantley. He actually hits lefties with authority. He's a lefty crime masher. So everyone's going to stack the Altuves and the Bregmans and the Gurriels and the Crays. And I get it. They're great. Brantley's right in the middle there, and don't forget that. He's 35 on FanDuel, 44 on DK. That's one that a lot of people will forget, and that's how you can still play a chalky stack but be different. So keep him in mind tonight. All right, we go to Kansas City. The Angels at the Royals, total of 8.5 in this one. Another game we can target if you want. Dylan Bundy, very, very good pitcher. Danny Duffy, hopefully doesn't get stuck on a Carl's Jr. drive-through, but or Wendy's. I can't remember which one it was. But
it was Burger King, to be honest.
It's Burger King, even better. Third time's a charm.
He was royal. So
yeah, he was royal.
Nice.
Oh, he was probably wearing the crown when they found him. So Bundy or Duffy, you using any of the pitchers in this one?
I like Bundy. Yeah, I do. And it's hard to pick him out in this great pitching slate that we have here. But if I'm going to pick one here and I want to go a little contrarian, I do like Bundy for some plays.
Yeah, I have like 5 pitchers circled on the slate. So Bundy's not on my list, but it's like you said, if this was any other slate, he'd be like at the top of my list. So I'm not going to tell anybody not to play him. Like he's a very good play against the Royals offense that very hot and cold. Dozier's probably not going to play again. So I get that. But let's just cut to the cut and dry of it. What Angels bats do you like tonight?
Pretty much all of them, but here's the one. There's a couple of PVB matchups that I really, really like. Justin Upton, 8 for 19 in his career off of Duffy. So, Duffy's been around forever, but he is cheap, man. 3,500 on DK, and he is 27 on FanDuel. So I think that's a really great matchup. Of course, Mike Trout has good numbers against everybody, but 9 of 20 for a 450 batting average against Duffy in his career with 2 doubles and a homer. So that's another solid one. How about Jose Iglesias, 11 for 29 in his career off of Duffy, a double, triple, and a bomb in those 5. So those are the ones in particular. But you could pay. I don't even know if Walsh is going to start, so I'd probably avoid him for the leftiness as far as that goes. But I don't know. Maybe he does. Ohtani, we just saw him hit 119 on the exit velocity. Like you said, people like to avoid him because he is also a pitcher, but 4,500 I don't think is a bad price for him either. So, Pujols is cheap too, 3,400. If he's in there, that's not a bad option to roll him out either.
Yeah, I love the Ohtani lefty on lefty crime. Trout, like you mentioned. And I think Pujols is interesting. I'm glad you mentioned him because with the lefty starting, Walsh might get the day off. He's you look at Pujols, 24 on FanDuel, 34 on DK. If he's in the lineup, he's in the middle of the lineup. So he's going to be producing more often than not. So I think he's very interesting for a value play in a potential sweet spot. So something to monitor as lineups get released. 2 more games to wrap this up. Before you do, remember, go check out LineStar on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB. Go subscribe to the LineStar app at the Apple App Store and Google Play App Store. If you can rate and review the podcast on iTunes, We would all really, really appreciate it. And if you want to see these beautiful faces, as the guy said, beautiful, Bob, and they call us beautiful.
Well, I'm the check cleared is what that means.
Yeah,
so
you know what they mean is you can put lipstick on a pig, but if you want to see our faces, you can go to the LineStar YouTube channel and go give a subscribe and a like over there. Would help out a ton. All right, two more games to break down for you. Cincinnati at the Giants. This is fun. This is really fun. Total 7.5. Luis Castillo is $7,100 on DK. He is 84 on FanDuel. Yeah, a little better, not bad. Kevin Gossman is 6,800 on DK. He's 87 on FanDuel. So the FanDuel prices might be a little low, but I can live with it. DraftKings is drunk. This is bad, Bogman. These are 2 of the 5 pitchers I have circled. I'm even willing to play them together in cash games if you want. Do you like these pitchers?
I do, but this is how I feel about these pitchers. Have you ever seen the movie U-571, Bubba?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how I feel. They got exposed. This is a submarine movie, a World War II submarine movie. They get exposed to a Nazi destroyer and they dive. They're diving. And the Nazis are ahead of them, dropping some depth charges. And, that's how I feel playing these guys because the Reds are hitting hot. The Giants can definitely turn it on. Luis Castillo has been, he's been a landmine, to be honest, right now. So they make me super nervous. So I think if I do watch this game, I'm going to have to eat dinner after it because my stomach is going to be in a knot during it, just seeing if one of these guys blows up. Because like I said, Luis Castillo is a landmine and Cincinnati's offense has been hot. So it makes it easier for me to go in a different direction with Woodruff paying up for Lucas Giolito. I'll say that, but I do like them, like you said.
I think they're both good, but since you are worried about potential landmines, are you targeting any bats? Because for me, I can see the contrarian appeals because more often than not, at least on DK, maybe not on FanDuel, on the 2-pitcher site, I could see one of these 2 guys being very chalky in a lot of lineups tonight. So if you want to go to the other side, you can.
Yeah, Moose is definitely a guy that I'm going to have in lineups. He is expensive, 5,500 and 3,200. So the savings are definitely there on FanDuel. But in his career against Gossman, he is 4 for 10 with 3 doubles and a homer. So hits him really, really well. Casty also has a double and 2 bombs off of Gossman as well. I think that's a pretty good one. The other bats, Flores, pretty good against Castillo in his career, 4 for 8, hitting 500 off of him. Excuse me, I'm reading the wrong thing. 2 for 6 with a homer off of him. So if he gets in there, 3,800, the crybaby's pretty cheap. So I like him as well. But yeah, this game makes me nervous on both sides. So I think maybe I'll get a Mustaka share in a FanDuel lineup. After that, I don't know if there's much I want.
The one thing I'll say is Jesse Winker went deep. He's 28 on FanDuel, so he's a little cheaper there. If he's leading off, he's in play. If you do want to fade Castillo, Yaz is 27 and Dickerson's 24 on FanDuel. Dickerson's like 28 on DK, so you got some value there too. So you can have some fun in tournaments if you want. I understand the trepidation because I'm with you as a Giants fan. I'm expecting the other shoots drop, but I'm looking for a pitcher's duel. I'm looking forward to it. So let's see what happens, and let's go to the nightcap. Rockies at the Dodgers, Trevor Bauer, Antonio Sensatella. Bauer's 10-2 on DK. He is 11,000 on FanDuel. I think 10-2 on DK at least, I think is too cheap for this matchup, Bogman.
Yeah, man. Look, he did it in Colorado the other day until he got, Coors fielded in an inning. So you take that away, you take Coors Field away. They're playing in LA in this one. This Rockies lineup isn't what it was a couple seasons ago. And I mean, I think Bauer has to be your chalk cash game pitcher today. Yep. So it's just pretty easy. And if there's another guaranteed win on the board, I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously, look, I went to a game where Mike Maroth beat Randy Johnson in the prime of his career, right? So
anything can happen.
Anything can happen. It's still baseball. But Sensatella is rough. Like I was reading off the wrong stat before. Mookie Betts 500 against him, 4 for 8. So if he actually gets in the lineup, That would be nice. A double and a homer. Of course, he has missed 5 games in a row, right? So it's been a little rough for him. But Corey Seager, 7 for 17 with 2 homers and a double. AJ Pollock, 7 for 18 with 3 doubles and a homer. Gavin Lux, 4 for 9. Justin Turner, 8 for 19. So stacking Dodgers is definitely going to be something that could pay off for people today.
Yeah, I love Gavin Lux is 26 on FanDuel, only 38 on DK. I think that's a phenomenal value tonight when you look at that. If Edwin Rios cracks the lineup, 22 on FanDuel, very affordable on DK. Definite values to be had against Senzatella. But one last thing on Bauer, the dude's gone 7 innings in both starts. He went over 115 pitches his last start. He's got, I think, 8 or more strikeouts in both games. He's doing things that we're still concerned other pitchers can't do yet, go deep into games. So in FanDuel, where you want the quality start and the win, on paper, he's going to at least should get you the quality start, if not both. On DK, he should just be a rock. Like, he's got 27 or more points in both starts on DK. That's like, for cash games, when you can write down 20 plus right out the gate, that is electric. So that's what you're looking for in cash. As much as I love the Woodruffs, the Castillos, the even Bundys and Gossmans, the cheaper ones, you can go with both of them in cash on DK if you want. I just think the just such good floor Bauer brings, and let's just the 1% outcome happens. It's beautiful for cash. So that's our cash game pitcher, Bogman.
Yes.
Who are your GPP pitchers tonight?
GPP pitchers. I still like Giolito a lot. He is definitely going to be in some lineups. If you want to play the U571 game of Castillo and Gossman, I get it. I like Bundy against Kansas City too.
Yeah, I think I'll just give people the 5 pitchers I'm looking at today. It's Bauer, it's Giolito, it's Woodruff, it's Castillo, it's Gossman. That's my 5. So yeah, I will use. You can argue them in cash if you want, but they're all definitely GPP viable. So figure it out wherever you want, whatever you need to get bats in there, make it work. But the highest ceiling is Trevor Bauer, so you got to pay for it.
Yeah,
but just realize that when you're stacking it up, what are you stacking with today?
I mean, Dodgers obviously is a number 1 stack. I like the Angels as well against Kansas City and Duffy. I like that one a bunch. And I think the Astros against Matthew Boyd is a pretty decent stack as well.
Yeah, Dodgers, Tampa Bay. That's where I'm focusing first.
Oh, Tampa Bay's a good one too.
And then Angels, and then that Detroit-Houston game. So yeah, we're pretty much simpatico on this one. And that's always good on a 10-game slate with 20 teams to be able to narrow it down to 5 or 6 teams, and then you can start seeing lineups. You can start playing ownership leverage, whatever you prefer from there. You can make magic happen. But last but not least, the home run call of the day. For some free swag, retweet the tweet about the home run call of the day. When one of us hits one, you will get some free swag if you are drawn as the lucky winner. So Bogman, let's find a home run. Who you got tonight?
Oh man, this one's difficult. I haven't been doing my matchups against what I perceive to be bad pitchers has not worked. So give me Jose Abreu off Shane Bieber.
I like it. Putting it on the table.
Let's go. Give me Abreu off of Bieber. Come on, Jose. Get it for me. Let's go.
Well, I am still targeting a bad pitcher because I just want to target Kyle Gibson every moment I can. Give me Austin Meadows. He is taking Kyle Gibson deep. I think a Rosarena goes deep too, but I'm going Austin Meadows in this one, taking Kyle Gibson deep. It's going to be the way to start off the day at 4:10 Pacific, 7:10 Eastern, and then we can end it later in the day with an Abreu, and then end it with a Trevor Bauer gem. We can have a great day, a great Tuesday. Sound good to you? Sounds good to me.
It sounds good to me. Let's have it. Let's get it.
All right, everybody. Remember, check out the LineStar guys on Twitter at LineStar app, at LineStar MLB. Give all the rates, reviews, subscribes, all the good stuff, and get the app. You will not regret it. It is absolutely awesome. All the cools, all the tools, all the chats, all that cool stuff. You can find Bogman on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm Matt B. Hendrick. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Good luck.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar App On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to linestarapp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support Casey, Bubba, Bogman, and the Welsh by rating and subscribing. Good luck.